Do you think you can actually speak in English, but you also think that you're not confident enough to do it? Watch this video until the end and take these helpful tips to give you that confidence that you really want. No beating around the bush, let's get started. First tip is practice. You really need to practice. You may think this is such a bummer, right? I am such a bummer for giving you this tip, but this is really the very first thing that you have to do. The truth is, we're not usually confident of doing some things we are not used to. All right, so you have to get used to it by, of course, practicing, right? I am fully aware of this myself. For example, even though I host some events, there are still some times when I really get very nervous and I don't feel that much confident in hosting some events just because I'm not doing that in my everyday life, right? That's not a part of my everyday tasks. So before the main event, of course, I need practice, right? I need rehearsals, and that's the same thing when speaking in English. The question here is, how do you do that, right? What if you're the only one in your house and you don't live with anyone else? You don't have anyone to practice with. You may also practice by yourself. For example, while doing some things, some household chores, you may tell yourself that you are doing this and that. You explain the process while doing the laundry. You tell yourself, okay, so the first thing that you have to do is you separate the clothes. If you want, you may also watch some video clips and pretend that you're one of the people speaking there. You may pause the video every now and then to respond. But if you are in a working environment, or if you are in school, let's say you're studying and you have opportunities, right, every day to practice and apply, speak in English, then do it. All right, the best thing that you have to do to gain that confidence is to get used to it. You have to practice. Tip number 2 is to imitate. We have that saying, fake it till you make it. And I did this in the past. Another thing when learning to speak a language is that whenever we practice or whenever we speak the language, we don't feel like we are that kind of person, right? We don't feel ourselves. Sometimes you have to fake it at the beginning until you get used to it and until that you get the vibe, right? And you won't notice that you slowly are becoming natural in speaking the English language. If you want, you may pick a celebrity or a person and then mimic him or her. Of course, that's until you find your own color. That's until you find your own way of speaking English. Number 3, please never say even to other people that you're not good at it, that you're not good at speaking English. Like, I'm sorry, my English is not good. I'm sorry, you might not understand me. Or I'm sorry, I cannot converse in English really well. My English is not that good. No. Once and for all, you're attracting it if you do that, all right? And it's like you are reinforcing it. You know in yourself, for example, that you're not that confident enough, or you're not, let's say, you're not really good at it that much yet, right? Because you are in the process, you are practicing, but still don't reinforce it. Don't tell yourself or even to other people that you're not good at it. That kind of thinking might get stuck in your head, and a couple of times you may just find that as an excuse not to speak, and that's not good. Let others expect more and better from you, right? If you also do that, you're telling other people not to expect anything from you. And you're telling them that you can't be any better. Sometimes you have to take that as a challenge, right? You have to let other people expect more from you, and you have to let them expect better from you, something better from you. Number 4, you have to listen to yourself as you speak in English. Again, you may record yourself. I know a lot of people are not comfortable doing this, but you have to, all right? I still cringe until now whenever I listen to my own voice, for example, in public, or if some of my friends play one of my YouTube videos. I cringe because, I don't know, it just really feels uncomfortable, right? Once you listen to yourself, You actually can point out or evaluate yourself, point out some things that you have to improve, some things that you think you can do better. For example, if that is pronunciation or intonation, the diction, or is it your choice of words, your grammar, things like that. Sometimes this is actually helpful, especially if you hear yourself speaking in English and you hear that you're actually doing it better than you expected. By the way, I always say this, I always recommend that you keep a recording of your voice. That's for you to keep track of your improvement, of your progress. After a year, 6 months, or a couple of months, listen to your recording and I promise that you'll hear or you'll notice an improvement. And that's a good way to motivate yourself to keep doing it, to keep practicing, right? Tip number 5 is to take it easy. Don't be too conscious. I remember committing a mistake when I was studying. That was class performance. So we're supposed to be graded based on that performance alone. And I committed this mistake while we were performing. I still thought of that after a few years, after like 5 years. And when I opened that topic with my classmates back then, they didn't even remember. It's usually us who are keep on thinking of our mistakes. We're very conscious and we're sometimes very hard on ourselves. The thing about speaking in English is that it's usually us who just focus on our mistakes and the things that we can't do. Unless you're going through an English proficiency test like IELTS, TOEFL, I suggest that you don't focus too much on yourself while you're speaking in English. Being too conscious is also one of the common problems for a non-native speaker. When you're already conversing with other people, they don't pay that much attention of your mistakes, or most of the time they wouldn't even notice. Besides, people won't stop at the middle of your conversation and tell you, hey, you know what, your grammar earlier is not correct. Or, hey, you know what, your pronunciation for this word is not right. You're supposed to pronounce it like this. This will lead me to my next tip, which is to allow yourself to commit mistakes, all right? Mistakes are fine, all right? Again, unless you're taking an English proficiency test where you'll be interviewed by proctors, they give you scores and whatnot, they scrutinize everything that you're saying, your pronunciation, your grammar. But if not, if you're just going out there and throwing a conversation with other people, don't be too conscious about it. Allow yourself to commit mistakes. Another thing about that is, you know that you've committed a mistake, or eventually you'll find out, and you may want to improve it. I'm not also saying here that you just commit mistakes and not target improvement or accuracy in the near future. My last tip for you is to increase the volume of your voice as you speak. When we're not too confident of what we're saying, or if we're not too confident of our speaking skills, we tend to speak in a very soft voice and we almost don't want other people to hear what we're saying. But once we do that, the more other people will focus on what you're saying because they can barely hear what you're saying. Of course, result is, or tendency is, they will focus more. And if they focus more, if you see that they're focusing more, you get more conscious, right? And that's it for today. Again, you have to develop that confidence. If you have suggestions for the next topics, please leave them in the comments. If you haven't subscribed yet and you've reached this part of the lesson, come on, click that subscribe button. Click the notification bell as well so you'll get notified next time that I'll post a video. This is Borj from English with Miss Borj, previously just random English. Dream and make your dream happen. I'll see you next time. Bye!